Well, hello there, everybody. How you doing on this really cool Friday? I mean, certainly isn't temperature-wise, but it is, no matter how you look at it, a very cool Friday. So let me get that going, and we are there. So welcome. How y'all doing? See already people in the chat room? What's happening? There I am. Steiger, you're looking good, dude. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Anyway, we're having fun here. I hope you are too. It is a smooth Friday. Just been doing the mental trip, on the beach. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. And it's a good place to be. If you really get there, I mean, you can actually see yourself sitting in the chair, got the umbrella, you know. Got that breeze coming by. You can hear the seagulls, and the waves are breaking at 2 to 4 feet. So you got that. Yeah, you just sit back and you know you think about all the things about life. You think about all the things of life's concerning, but yet you get that nice breeze, that ocean refreshing breeze, and yeah, that's where we are. So it's a great place to be. So hope you enjoyed that little vacation, yeah. So speaking favor over us all, nothing missing, nothing broken. So good that we got that going for us because, yeah, high magic taking place, folks. It really is. And when you finally realize what's going on, you really see it. That's why we say nothing missing, nothing broken, because if they can try to create a false reality and try to make it real, don't tell me that we can't do exactly the same thing. Just saying. Gogo, how you doing? All the way from Croatia. Good to see you, brother. Hello, Bernadette. Goddess Sabina. I saw Chloe said that she was heading to work. How you doing, Chloe? Is it still hot down there? DC, good to see you. Joyce and Millie, hello. Kelly, good to see you as well. Bonnie, what's up? Shirley, hello. Miss Nina is in the house. Good to see you as well, my dear. Emperor Rex, how are you? Stephen Jacobs, good to see you, buddy. Jackie, nothing missing, nothing broken. She sent me a t-shirt. Got it right there in my closet. Um, yeah. Loretta, I just want to make it. Mr. S. Lee, got your email just a minute ago. We'll be getting the time to hook up. Yeah. So, anyway, I hope everyone is having fun. Melissa, good to see you as well. El Gapo, what's up, brother? Good to see you. So, thank you. So, Susie, what's up? Good to see you as well. So many beautiful people. That's all I got to say. Mm, mm, mm. So, I'm telling you, strange time. Got some great feedback emails. Someone wrote me and said, you make what would be otherwise a very boring um, read. I can understand that point of view. This person said, you certainly have made it anything but boring. Well, thank you. Appreciate it very much. And another person wrote me and said, you should be speaking at the university. This would be a great class. Wouldn't it, though? It would be a great class. So, John, what's up? World of Warcraft. Isn't that the truth? Absolutely. Do. Give me 1 second here. Okay. There we go. All right. Wanted to get something done there. So, got it done. So, all is good in the world. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Want to get in the story because the story, if you take this from a science fiction perspective, this is a freaking fantastic story. I constantly recommend that if you have not ever read this book, you really should, because it's that type of arresting content. And it's just how you depend how you look at this. I mean, to me, that if this is the way reality is, that this being actually created all this thing, Folks, we're just screwed, blued, and tattooed. It's just a fact, Jack. They ain't going to get off our back because, we've been attacked. We've been hijacked. You know, just saying. Hello, Marie. Good to see you, darling. Hello. Uh, what is lacks in hair? He makes up for the intelligence and personality. Hey, yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Anyway, so Lynn, good to see you as well. Um, the story. I think it's critical that we begin to focus in on what we learned yesterday. Apparently, this God thing is a crystalline being, at least from this dude's perspective. Now, I don't know how a person that, was 360 years, 365, how he thought, what he saw as his reality, and if this is even his words. I mean, I question that. I never met the author, so I can't validate that the story is actually real. But it doesn't really matter because it reads in the modern genre of high science fiction, high drama. I mean, we got everything in it. We got aliens, we got, worlds, wormholes. And now we find out that these giants that were here, and there is physical evidence that says that they were, we just don't have the memory or the documents. I think we still got that memory in the back of our head, man. Um, but it appears now that they are of a unique creation. And then to come find out that this God, right? He says there's no judgment in what they do. So they operate with immunity. Now, that's some badass spirits. And I want to get into it because it's quite apparent that um they got souls. Do, 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 do. All right, there we are. So recapping. Um it's a big deal now. We found out that these aliens, the supposed angels in this realm that they live in, this planet, mothership, whatever, they got some really funky rules, man. And if you violate them, well, you're totally screwed because this deity, yeah, all right, well, we're going to find out. So anyway, they came down. They, I haven't read anywhere where any female earthling um, went willingly. I don't know. Maybe some did. I have no idea. But these things were gods. They had powers, they had knowledge, they knew secrets of the wisdom, secrets of the universe, and apparently they didn't know them all. And so they came down um, and they impregnated them and they begat, had children by them, and thus nothing might be wanting to them on earth. Well, that's pretty powerful. Imagine going through life never having want. And this is where it gets really, really weird. And I'm just going to kind of jump ahead at it because it says that they were formerly spiritual. Well, okay, if that former means that was before, all right, then what are they now, right? There seems like there was this transfiguration, this transmutation that took place. Living the eternal life, an immortal. So immortals came down and had sex with mortals, thus the demigods. And they're still here. They're still in our bloodline. No story of any kind says that they ever removed that foreign DNA from us. Um, And so they went and took wives, and they had lived in this place, this planet called heaven. And this goes on to say, now this is God talking, right? And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh. Very interesting, because here's this blending that we've talked about. So you got spirit blending with flesh. They shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. I was thinking last night, I was writing notes on this, and it was like, this God just seems to kick our ass whenever he gets the opportunity. Because you know what? They could have taken those monstrosities, those hybrids, and taken them to another planet. But no, no, when they died, they stayed. Now, if Earth is truly a prison, then it's truly their prison. And if they are still in us, then what role do we have in this? But anyway, let's stick to the original group. It says, and evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies because they are born from men, and from the watchers is their beginning and primal origin. So again, this God didn't have any part of this creation. Another point of view is that you could be looking at this as the geneticists made a breakthrough, and who they worked for got pissed off. Like, no, we can't allow any of that to happen. But anyway, the story is that this was a creation outside the creation of God. That's what it reads. That's what he said, not me. And we are their origin. I mean, that's heavy. And if consciousness is transferred at death to merely exist in another dimension, realm, time, whatever, so this would be the same thing. We created this thing. It's really gets deep when you get into this. And it goes on to say, and they shall be called evil spirits on the earth. Not demons, but evil spirits, implying somehow, someone wrote in the comment, and I thought was really cool, that are we saying that these spirits can have reproduce? Good question. I contend that there's evidence of women and men. I had someone write to me about the number of cases of men, and it's where maybe we get the stories of the incubus and the succubuses, each one having its specific office, and that they seem to attack. And the one I know particularly is called the entity. It's one of the few documented cases of where the University of California, Los Angeles, was actually documenting sexual activity between an unseen entity and a woman. Gets weird, doesn't it? And then it really comes into, so what is the purpose of an evil spirit having intercourse with a human woman? I mean, Rosemary's Baby is predicated on, Satan coming down and banging Rosemary, and, they produce this hybrid. But the story of Jesus is the same story. And you can try to dress it up and put the lipstick on it. It's still a pig. It's still an alien intrusion of a foreign nature having intercourse. And, of course, I know what the church teaches. Well, it was never intercourse. My ass, but in any case, It's the same story. So it appears that evil spirits can, and in fact do, have sexual intercourse with humans. Hmm. I mean, that currency, I mean, that's, necrophilia. Think about it. It gets really weird. So they're here. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth and cause trouble. Well, I'm, you know, just one amongst the tacks here, but I certainly get the point. If I look at this and I'm going, well, this is all they do then. They don't know anything different. I understand now why they would have no empathy, that they would have no feelings, at least not favorable towards humans. Apparently they hate us. Well, I don't know if we were the cause of that, doesn't really matter. But here you go. It's what they do. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men and against the woman, against women. Wow. I mean, this gets really deep when you think about this and how this permeates society even today. The exploitation of the feminine image. And it says, because they hate women, because they came from them. Wow. You need to be a witch just to be able to cover your ass, ladies. I mean, it's not like y'all already have enough, right? Now you read this and, it's like, well, crap. I got some spirit, tormenting me, poltergeist activity, hauntings, dreams, particular attacks. I mean, now you know why. It says, from the days of the slaughter and destruction and the death of the giants, from the souls. I want to I was reading this morning, and this is really critical. From the souls of whose flesh the spirits, having gone forth, shall destroy without incurring judgment. Thus shall they destroy until the day of the consummation, the great judgment, in which the age shall be consummated. All over the watchers and the godless, yes, shall they be wholly consumed. So, from the souls of whose flesh the spirits having gone forth. Now, my interpretation, and I'm just a layman here, that tells me that if they came from us, and if we have souls, it appears they do too. And this changes the whole narrative. What if all the religions of the world are creation of these beings? They see themselves as gods above us. They carry the memory of what their parents were particularly. They know things that we have forgotten. And apparently, they have free will to override our free will. That's what the story is saying. They don't have any judgment. There's no court, no authority that you can go to and say, hey, wait a minute, I've been violated here. This is the God of the Bible, right? Wild stuff. And it says, now as to the watchers who have sent you to intercede for them, who had aforetime been in heaven, say to them, you've been in heaven. So that's a physical place. I still contend, we read, yesterday, there's wormholes. These creatures understand space, time at a level that we haven't even begun to grasp. We understand the whole mathematic probability that a wormhole can in fact exist. Well, it would seem like we're a little bit late to the party because these creatures, these beings use it all the time. But anyway, it says that you were here. Man, you had your house. And it goes on to say, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you. So how old are these watchers, these fallen angels, these whatever, these aliens? I mean, if you're basically an immortal and you still haven't been taught everything, that tells me that no single spirit knows everything. And then it gets weirder. It says, and you knew worthless ones. Now, I'd take offense if this God's calling us worthless ones. I'd have to say, buddy, you and I in the ring. You're going to fight God? Well, it apparently appears that a lot of things are fighting him. I mean, for a perfect dude, he's got a lot of fucking chaos around him. I'm just saying for a friend. But it says, you knew the worthless ones, and these and the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women. So apparently in this coitus exchange, there's talking going on. Well, I'd like to know what kind of pillow talk they were talking about. But anyway, as what most men know, that moment, you'll tell a woman anything, right? Right? And you're going, And it says, through these mysteries, women and men worked much evil on earth. So that tells me a lot of powerful magic going on. I mean, this was not only Dungeon Dragons, this is Halo, it had to be a wild place. You've got mortals that are using the knowledge that the immortals took for granted. And I have no doubt it stirred some crap up down here big time. I mean, holy crap, could you only imagine? So you're minding your own fucking business, right? All of a sudden you're inside this whole place it's upside down and it's weird. And you look at you look at these people over there and they're causing it. I mean, this is kind of stuff we're talking about. Gravity wells. Anyway, this God says to them, well, you ain't got no peace now. All right. If there's no peace, then what is there? What, torment, pain, war, suffering? I mean, wow. So once again, this God shows that it curses more than it blesses. And again, why would a God want to curse? Why would a God want to curse anything that it created? But I guess in this case, technically, it didn't create these beings. We had a part in it. But you can't hold us guilty. What the hell? They invaded us. We were just fine, thank you. And then they came along and screwed it up for all of us. And somehow or another, that's like blaming the rape victim and saying, well, your dress. It's the same thing. This is morally reprehensible. But nevertheless, that's the story. So we go on and then we're going to talk about taken by the angels. So this is an interesting exchange because you could look at these as angels or you could look at them as aliens. How would a human know the difference? Today, would you know the difference between an alien and an angel? I mean, we can't even tell who the demigods are. Apparently, it's us. But anyway, we got these pissed off, evil spirits, and we got no idea how many of them. None. We have no idea if they're procreating, if they're, building up the forces over there. And I can't even get into that weird shit. I mean, I, yeah, yeah, I mean, I don't even want to go down that alley. So now we got these aliens or these angels talking to Enoch, this cat. And I still say that he has to have some sort of force field around him. I can't see him interacting, but hey, that's just my imagination. So anyway, we get the angels took and brought me, this is Enoch speaking, to a place in which those who were there were like flaming fire. And when they wished, they appeared as men. Well, this is some heavy magic. I mean, this is defying laws of physics. Shapeshifters. And it gives us a clue that, and when I read this, I could almost see, an entity that is of a plasma, particularly if they're of a crystalline structure. We found out yesterday that God apparently is a crystalline being. And if that be the case, technically we have that within us. Our bodies are made up of salt, crystalline structures within us. Talk about the divine flame. Anyway, they can change like that. And I have no doubt they can be women. They wouldn't be men. I think they can be both ways. And they brought me, so this is a question, is he in a ship? I mean, what did they do? Got him on both sides of the hands and hold on, Enoch, as we're flying. Yeah. But he says they took me to a place of darkness and to a mountain, the point of whose summit reached to heaven. Now, I don't know if this is on Earth, but it must be a pretty tall freaking mountain. And again, is that what the Tower of Babel was about? We are just merely emulating what we saw. Was there at one time a planet here that literally was attached to Earth in some form, very close distant? I mean, is there possibly that in these divided realms that there is a time when these realms were basically translucent to others? Because you're getting the idea that heaven is up here somewhere, right? And he says, I saw the places of the luminaries. Those are the stars. And the treasuries of the stars and of the thunder, and in the utmost depths where a fiery bow and arrows and their quiver and a fiery sword and all the lightnings. You get the idea that he's looking at constellations here? Yeah. I guess you could have a particular portal where you could see these things, but it sounds to me like he's on a ship. But anyway, and when we talk a ship, man, we're talking planet-sized ships here. And they took me to the living waters and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. You ask me, there's heavy, astrology going on here, big time. And then he says he comes to a river of fire. Now, I don't know, again, what Enoch's world was like. I mean, it wasn't like ours. I think in one sense it was very technically advanced, and in other ways it was very primitive. But that would kind of make sense, because if you have this intelligence, you find out that you spend all your life energy on making a buck. if you never had to spend your energy in that way, imagine what life would be like for you if you spent that energy in the acquisition of knowledge. And the experiences would be that of your choosing, not that which was forced upon you due to the environment. So anyway, I digress again. Um, and I think about this river of fire. Today, I could think of electrical current. I could think of a plasma. I mean, yeah. But one thing about rivers, if there's rivers, then it has a beginning and an ending, right? So who's drawing the power out of this? And he says, into which the fire flows like water and discharges itself into the great sea towards the west. Man, if you just get out and be a Bob Ross right now and get your palette out there and get your frame ready to go and paint this. I mean, we all could paint this. So we're going to paint. What color is your river of fire? Mine's not red. Mine's more coalescing of, blues and oranges and as it's running through. And as it's running, you see the landscape before you. And as he's describing this, he's seeing it discharging. So imagine I'm seeing an electrical current, not so much the physical falling of water, but the electrical exchange going out into this vastness. And I often wonder, is it really water he's talking about here? He says the living waters. That's highly significant. I don't know exactly what living waters are. I've read about them in the New Testament at length, and it appears that it's a different structure of water. It says, I saw great rivers and came to the great river. I get the idea of as I'm looking up there up there in the Yukon and in Alaska, where you got these huge vistas of rivers, but then you got the river, right? Um, and he said, and to the great darkness, so I guess the sun's not up, and went to the place where no flesh walks. Okay. I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter and the place whence all the waters of the deep flow. A pretty wild place. I don't know if this is Earth. I don't know if this is Middle Earth. I don't know what's going on here, but this is a wild place, no doubt. And then I'm trying to think, I'm trying to put it in my mind, as to what was he really seeing here. I can't quite get there. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth and the deep and the mouth of the deep. I mean, are these just huge openings? It says, I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he, speaking, I guess, the creator, had furnished with them the whole creation and firm foundations of the earth. So these elementals are pretty powerful entities. That's what he's talking about. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. Now, if you've ever been outside your body and your mind totally speeding at the speed of thought, imagine Thoth saw it. Others have seen this place. It's right here. It's all around us. We see a different picture. I saw the four winds which bear the firmament of the heavens. Mighty creatures, aren't they? And I saw how the wind stretched out the vaults of heaven and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. What a wild place. I mean, you have to admit, it's like, holy crap. Back in the days when I used to do a lot of spelunking, this is the kind of thing that, man, you're crawling through this narrow passage and you can feel the air. You know that somehow there's an opening in the end, but it's like you're struggling in there and you're looking at this thing and you finally make it through. And when you get the light out, you see this whole freaking cavern before you. You got the stalagmites, you got the gypsum flowers. I mean, yeah, pretty cool place, eh? I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and all the stars to their setting. Now, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't know what Enoch's talking about here because, his view of science is a little different than mine, but hey, he's talking to the freaking angels. So what do I got to say? I'm just reading what someone said he said. Um, he said, I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the angels, implying that they must walk amongst the clouds, right? Saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above, and I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones. Well, if there's a place on earth here, we certainly haven't found it. Or if they have, they certainly haven't told us. It says 3 towards the east, 3 towards the south. And as for those towards the east was a colored stone, one of pearl, one of japheth, and those towards the south of red stone. But the middle one reached to heaven like the throne of God of alabaster, and the summit of the throne was of sapphire. One of my favorite stones. Even my wedding ring is, you know. So that's just got to be freaking beautiful. Can you imagine having a throne of sapphire? I mean, wow. This is it's amazing because sapphires can be different colors. And so, I mean, that's pretty rich, I would say, right? I mean, if think about it, if how rich, I mean, none of the people on earth, all the billionaires can't do this. I mean, this dude is sitting on a throne of sapphire. I'd like to know what that feels like, you know. And then I want to be able to just get my face right up on it, look into it and really get and again, it's this, crystalline thing going on. I mean, come on. And then he says, then I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth. There the heavens were complete. It was far out. I mean, I really enjoy reading this because you get your imagination going into this, and wow, imagine if they made this a movie. Um, and I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire. I mean, are we looking at something in the Death Star? I mean, you've got these pillars, and they're really just solid plasma, electric, you know, yeah. And among them I saw columns of fire fall, which were beyond measure, alike towards the height and towards the depth. I don't have a fucking clue what he's talking about here. I mean, when I read this, I'm going, okay, how does this work? Anyway, we continue. And beyond the abyss, I saw a place. And then again, you got to ask yourself, so is he traveling? Because you can't remain stationary and unless all of this is passing by you. But anyway, he saw a place where there was no firmament of the heavens above. In other words, no horizon, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no water upon it and no birds, but it was a waste and horrible place. Sounds to me like a planet. Just saying, it Because is it not Earth? Still gives you the feeling that this cat's in a spaceship, right? Uh, because he's seen stuff that, well, no one's seen. He said, I saw their seven stars like great burning mountains. So, wow, what a cosmic view, right? And to me, when I inquired regarding them, the alien said, this place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. Wow. So, are we at the end of our solar system? Are we at the end of a metaphorical Earth? Is he describing a real physical place that we have no idea about? Um, is there such a place in the ethereal realm where one reality, one dimension stops and the next becomes a prison for the stars? I mean, so what did they do? I mean, prisons aren't exactly what we would call resorts, unless you watch Twilight Zone. Um, and the stars which rule over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. So let's just put our astronomy hats on. What the hell happened here? So you got this pissed off God, you know? He's all about judgment, transgression. He's really a real downer. Uh, so I'm thinking about myself. So is this a battle he's writing about? He's talking about apparently a part of the universe where the normal laws of physics are not in play. Apparently, there's this great, you know, time watch, and these stars, these solar systems, whatever you want to call it, didn't go according to what he said. And so because of that, and then that means that, listen, if you're punishing stars, you're punishing planets, well, then that would indicate that these celestial places are living entities, just a different life form. Because the next part is really interesting. And it said, and he was mad at them and bound them till the time when their guilt should be consummated for 10,000 years. And this word consummated means to be eaten. It means to be consumed like fire. And specific times, 10,000 years. So who's keeping the clock? I mean, are they dealing in seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years? I don't know. I don't know what the time reference. I have a feeling that it's not ours. So there's a completely different set of time. Then Ural, hello Ural, we've talked about this one a number of years ago. He said to Enoch, he says, here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. This is loaded, man. This is like, holy crap. I mean, this is like these nesting dolls, you know? And every time you think you get to the end, this is deep. So these aliens, these angels, connected themselves to women. I talked about parasitic, unseen beings or things. Yeah, they're here. So there is this connection now, and I believe that we could put the word DNA. So they've exchanged DNA now. I still say if this God knew everything, could see everything, omnipresent, omnipotent, yada yada, why? Why? It was his fault to begin with. He should have kept his angels under control. I mean, come on. If you failed as a CEO, you can't keep your employees in line, then you're fired. This God needs to be fired. I did a video on that. There's another reason. And look what it says. And their spirits, they assume many different forms and are even now defiling mankind and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Listen, this is commentary. My problem with Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and all those Abrahamic religions is that that's what they do. They sacrifice. They sacrifice animals. They sacrifice humans. So who's really God here? And how do we know? This is an angel that has a higher intelligence than us, broader perspective, and says, yeah, these spirits ain't dead, man. No. Um, and now all the stories you hear about people who make worship or conjure angels, demons, and what have you, and very few ever manifest, but if they do manifest, now you got to begin to ask yourself, what the hell's going on here? I mean, by this story, none of these creatures have our best interest in mind. None of them. And to sacrifice. Ah, man. And listen, I don't care if you're in a politics, religion, corporate world, whatever. You are there. I have seen it. People will stab others in the back. They will sacrifice you, metaphorically. But you're being sacrificed, and you're not even, and when you begin to realize it, what do? Do you strike back? Do you seek vengeance? Or you just say, well, that's your problem, not mine, right? And it says, here they shall stand. So are we looking into the firmament now? We're looking into the ethereal realm, that there's a place where we can see it. I've seen it in my mind before, being traveling in, what we call that place where consciousness leaves the body. I have a sense many of you, I've seen going outside of the earth and seeing the earth as this, looks like a marble in some ways. But it says they shall stand till the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be judged till they are made of an end. And the woman also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. So this one's a weird one. So the women also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. Is he making reference, is Ural making reference that there are female angels? I thought the interesting thing about the creation of Lilith, or Eve, however you want to take it, was then what was the model? I mean, if it was the image of these beings, then it certainly would imply that then there are females in this angelic ranks. We don't hear anything about them, but yet I didn't say this. Ural said it. And the women also of the angels, not the women also of the men. And it does bring up this dilemma. I mean, so how do we know we're all not damned souls? Because it implies that the DNA has been contaminated. And that there's a spiritual contamination taking place here as well. So are all of us just created in this neither realm? I mean, how far did the contamination go? I mean, if a woman had sex with an angel, and let's say that that woman then had sex with another human, well, she just exposed the male to a foreign DNA substance that now is permeating and penetrating and attaching to his DNA. And how does that carry over into the spiritual realm? You know, when you have sex with someone, you're actually sharing more than just physical energy. You're sharing this kinetic energy that's coming from within you, and you're sharing this back and forth. They don't teach that, but it's what's happening. It's just a question. When I come across this, I'm going, okay, so how far does this curse go? And the thing about it is, isn't it curious that this God cursed woman before he cursed this intrusion? I mean, you got to go back to the garden, right? This precluded this event by, I don't know, maybe a couple thousand years. We don't actually know for sure, but so he's already cursed woman. So you have an angel who apparently is not cursed, comes down, has intercourse with the cursed woman. Now there's an exchange here going on. So is this angel bringing in exchange this uncursed substance that's now intermingled with a cursed substance? I mean, that's got far-reaching implications. I mean, take it as far as you want to go out there. Wow. I mean, is that how the human genome that we found out that there are no humans left? We're all hybrids. The actual humans, we don't, they died off long. I mean, you can't even see them in the rearview mirror. It's just that far back. Anyway, he says, and I, Enoch, alone saw the vision, the end of all things, and no man shall see as I have seen. So apparently he got the director's cut of, you know, everything about humanity that you'd want to know. And I guess he got the extended version of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but no one else is going to see it. They destroy the copies, you know, just sucks to be us. All right, I look at this and I don't have enough time to go in. But then we get into these angels. Now, this is real curious. I do have a little bit of time. So these are the names of the holy angels who watch mankind. So they're still there. You have Uriel, one of the holy angels, who is over the world and over, look at this, Tartarus. Huh. Raphael, one of the holy angels, who is over the spirits of men. So not the souls of men, but the spirits of men, which implies that when we pass on from this plane, you're going to have to answer to the union boss, right? Raguel, one of the holy angels who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. What's with the fucking violence? You know? Because it was never perfect to begin with, folks. You can't have an angel coming out here and trying to kick ass on something else and say that you got this perfect freaking world, this creation. Nah. You got Michael, one of the holy angels, to wit, he that is set over the best part of mankind and over chaos. Can someone define for me what's the best part of mankind? And by this nurture, the word itself, it would seem that mankind and chaos are synonymous with one another. Seraquel, one of the holy angels who is set over the spirits who sin in the spirit. It's not like we have enough already to deal with, but now apparently you can sin in the spirit. You can sin in the physical flesh, but you can sin in the spirit. Don't know how that happens. How does energy sin? Anyway. Then you got Gabriel, who's a bad motherfucker. That's all I got to say. This dude, if you see him, you're dead. Now, he's one of the holy angels who is over paradise and the serpents and the cherubim. Okay. Over paradise and the serpents and the cherubim. So is paradise where the serpents are and the cherubim? I mean, and then why do we got the serpents? What's up with that? Remiel, one of the holy angels whom God set over those who rise. I don't know. Who's rising on this? Is this ascension? Is this and you know, I don't know about you, but they got an awful lot of security here. I'm just saying. And he says, I proceeded to where things were chaotic, as though they're not already. And I saw there's something horrible. Really? Well, I heard angels aren't exactly the most handsome. I saw neither a heaven above nor a firmly founded earth, but a place of chaotic and horrible. Well, being chaotic can be a very horrible feeling, can't it? And I know I'm getting close here. And anyway, he says, I saw 7 stars of the heaven bound together in it, like a great mountains and a burning with fire. Again, is this a vision? Is this what he's seen? And so when we get back into this, we're going to pick up because the conversation these angels have is very interesting. It's like, how do you talk to an alien? You know, if you had a chance to meet an angel, how would you talk to it? I don't know. What type of new phone do you have? Anyway, so there you go. Commentary, little comedy thrown in, but it all affects us all. It does. All religion. It's all this way. It at times for me, it really shuffles the deck of reality because all of this is like into the fabric of our existence here. And you just got to ask yourself if these things exist, they're already here. I mean, it's messed up. And if they're going to be over there, that's messed up. Because I got to tell you, they're the ones who screwed it up. But if you get into the talking point, though, that the fact that Eve was already cursed, so was Adam. In fact, the whole freaking planet was cursed. God cursed the earth. So why would something come down here that wasn't cursed, but knew that there was a curse? And again, how'd they get away with it? I mean, if you've got these angels, these guards, these lords that are over all this, where were they? What, was it a cigarette break? You know, hey, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Now, don't you dare think that you're going to go down there and mess with those women. No, it ain't going to happen. Now, tell me you understand. I got to go out and smoke this joint, but I'll be right back. You know, hey, Susie Q, what's up? You have a wonderful weekend too. And so these super beings, right? These are the Avengers, right? They're coming down here. We didn't invite them. We didn't say, hey, come on down. No, they showed up and they screwed everything up. Everything. And then supposedly the one that's supposed to be their creator and that cursed us, is blaming us. Well, y'all sinned. Ay, ay, ay. Hey, Lost in Space, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Uma, hello. Nothing missing, nothing broken. So anyway, thanks, Mike. Breathe deep, share love, smile. Yes. Anyway, folks, it's a wild story. We'll pick up on other things going forward, and we'll come back because it goes on and on and on. But I think we've picked up enough of the whole gist of this whole matter that these aliens, and that's all they are. Wow, they just screwed it all up for all of us. And again, I don't know who this being is that's proclaiming that it's the creator of all this. If it is, then it says that it's the God of chaos because there's no perfectness to any of this. None. And the sad commentary in the end of this story is that this God is going to burn it all up. Some sort of nuclear galactic fusion bomb or something. And the whole fabric of reality gets burned up, destroyed, and it brings in a new one. I don't know about you, but if you screwed the first one up, what are the odds that you're not going to do it again? Just saying. Hey, Scotty boy. Everyone have a good weekend. Emperor Rex says from the nine realms, isn't that the truth? Hey, Steve, what's up? Appreciate that, my friend. Great, great conversation there. I didn't get to see it all. Dave Sullivan, how are you? Good to see you. Lady Ellie, hello, Flight Risk. What's up? God of Gods. I'm just reading this as I'm going. Endless summer nights. What's up? Fallen angels change the nature. I believe it's true. We're living in a reality that we were never meant to live in. I don't think that this was the way it was meant to be. And maybe that's the sorrow that we all carry within us because we know that. We know that this isn't the way it's supposed to be. And it's not through religion. It's not through philosophy. It's none of these things that we've invented to get us back where we were supposed to be. Anyway, hey, Jargo. Susan, what's up? Good to see you. I have a great weekend anyway. Someone wrote me and said, you have pissed God off. And I go, why? What? Because I question things? If God truly is this God, then it would applaud me. And I wrote to one person who kept saying, you commit blasphemy. I'm going to say, let me tell you, your God would love me more than it would love you. Want to know why? Because I'm fucking honest with him. You're not. There's no ambiguity between him and me. And he loves my ass. I don't know why. Because I don't particularly like him. Well, that pissed her off. But anyway. It's the truth. This God would rather have us as followers than the ones that he's got. Because we don't bullshit him here. We let it know exactly how it's hanging out. And I think he actually respects that shit. I really do. He has to put up with all the hyper, the hypocrisy and all the right, it's just, ad nauseum. He's like, man. So he comes over to our side and has a beer and sits down, has a joint and says, I can hang out with you folks. Yeah. And then he's got to leave. He's got to go back and deal with, he's got to do it. So anyway. May God can That's Scotty boy. I love you, man. Well, thank you, Bonnie. I respect you too, darling. Susan, have you read The Chemical Muse? I haven't, dear. I have to write that down. Sounds good, though. Hey, Gilbert, how are you, brother? Uh, Gilbert, that I appreciate you, man. I really do. Check out Nina on her show. And hey, the doctor's in. Good to see you as well on Sunday. Uh, Says you might be surprised to know that you're living life. What happened to that? There are so many things going by so quickly. I wanted to read that. Uh, okay, I can't find it now. Um, there we go. I was reading it and then it was gone. I'll have to check that out. All right, folks, have yourself a great weekend. See you on Monday. I love this group. Y'all are the best. I swear you're the best anyway about it. Uh, Steve, you're right. He says you can love someone and not like them that much. Ain't it the truth? All right, folks, have yourself a good one until we meet again. All righty.